Welcome once again, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. This is your man Roy coming at you with another Marvel Contest of Champions video. Now today we're going to be doing Act 5.1.5 and 5.1.6 hints, tips and tricks that will get you through the initial completion of Act 5 Chapter 1, get you a few juicy rewards if you haven't already done so, that will slightly aid you in your progression as we head towards 5.2 and the Collector and our path towards Uncollected. But in the meantime we have two beastly quests to get through, so let's dive right in and have a look at the suggestions that I am going to give you. So let's go in 5.1 and 5. So we start really ramping up difficulty at this point, so the PI of the average champion will jump approximately 3000, so the average that we're going to be dealing with in this path is approximately 15,500, but it does go more. Now the global node that we're facing on this one is Burden of Might, so the opponent's power, so i.e. you, gained by striking or being struck is reduced by 15% for each buff currently active, and anytime a buff activates for any reason you lose 25% of max power. So really you want to try and bring in champions that don't rely too much on their special attacks. You want naturally hard hitting champions for this one. We also have power focus, so your critical rate is increased by up to 25% based on current power. So if you can keep the power levels up, you're going to hit like a train, but if you're buff reliant, then it can pose some issues. So the first path that we're going, we're also starting with Kamala Khan, Miss Marvel, and then after that it really depends on how you want to play this. So the boss you'll see is Electro, and we'll come to that in a second, but he has incoming bonuses on each path, and really the more that you want to take out, so we've got Pessimist, which is gaining Fury, Armor Up and Health Steal if the Electro is above 75%. When they're attacked by a special attack, they gain 1 bar of power. Optimus, so again the same as Pessimist, but when they're below 25% health points, and an unblockable special 1. So if you feel you can tackle all of those incoming nodes, if you know the timing of the special 1 and can maintain your distance, if we're dealing damage, so we're avoiding, the power steal at above 75% and below 25%, then you would want to take the shortest path. So in this case, for me, that's exactly what I did. So the path that you're going to take after Miss Marvel, the quickest path would be the Colossus, Guillotine, Ronin, Howard the Duck, Karnak, Dr. Voodoo, leading into Star-Lord. Now there's not really any of those champions that have anything seriously bad about them. You just need to watch, each of the individual champions has their own little issue. So Colossus, armor up's more effective, special damage increased based on armor, all abilities trigger 20% more often, so that can be a bit of a pain from him gaining armor and also his ability to deal damage. Guillotine, special 2 is unblockable, more effective bleed abilities, and critical hit rate is increased, so again she can hit hard and do more damage with the bleed. Ronin, so increased duration of stun effects by 100%. If you've got a champion with a lot of buffs, that's going to be a long ass stun. Special 2 is unblockable, so just get used to the animation timing for that and dodging, it's not too much. It's the kind of same timing as Captain America's shield throw as well, and the same animation as Thor's special 2 as well. And heavy attacks are not interrupted, so it's just to bear in mind that he goes unstoppable when launching a heavy attack, and the timing for that can be a bit off. So it's just to watch a follow up. Power deduct, special damage increase based on armor, so he starts off with I think 6 or 8 armor charges, so again his starting damage is going to be heavy. Fury abilities are more effective and armor up abilities are more effective, so again he can hit hard, just bait out that special one and dodge it and get those armor charges down. Karnak can be a little bit annoying just because of his ability to shrug off debuffs. His special one is unblockable, which is a little bit weird because he only hits one hit that makes contact within special one, so it's a bit of a strange one, but he does have 80% physical resistance, so it can just be a really long fight, and when you attack him with a special attack he gains 1 bar of power. Doc Voodoo, so special 2 is unblockable, it's only a 2 hit special anyway, so again if you can dodge the first part, second part's fine. It's got lifesteal as long as you're under a beneficial effect, so it's just to watch that, and he's going to start off regenerating 200% more health. That regen does time off, so again it's just patience waiting for that to expire and then you're good to go. Star-Lord doesn't have anything apart from the global nodes, he just increases his defensive ability for each hit on your combo meter, so it can just be a protracted fight. And then you're into Electro, and Electro is one of the most annoying champions in the game just because of his reflect damage. So some of the champions you want to bring into this, Crossbones is fantastic against Electro. You're just going to want to make sure and get those Furies built up on yourself, and that'll reduce his ability accuracy. Havoc and Archangel do really well. Bishop's really good from an energy attack point of view. If you're blocking that special one, if you've removed that node or even the special 2 attack, it's just going to give you that little bit more oomph using Bishop. Awakened Guardian, he has a great energy resistance, so if you've got Awakened Guardian at any rank, a really good champion to bring in. Gambit's really good, just medium attack, heavy attack, rinse and repeat. And Falcon does really well for ability accuracy reduction while locked on during those periods, so a good variety of champions for Electro. Failing that, just enough champions in, you might want to use a couple of revives or potions in this one, just to get the guy down, because after we bring Electro down then we're 1 quest away from Act 5.1 completion. So I think when I completed this I didn't have most of those champions I've just reeled off. I think it was more a case of power through it, and there was a few revives used, just because a lot of the time most of my champions were very reliant on physical damage and very little ranged option. Winter Soldier can work quite well with a special 2, it doesn't make contact and can apply the damage over time debuff as well. I'm sure I had him in there, but yeah. It depends on your roster, guys, but you've either got the champs or you don't. If you don't, this might be the first instance where unit revives might come into play. And then we move on to 5.1.6, which is the last quest before things start to get really interesting. So there isn't really much with this quest actually. I found this one relatively easy. The only thing is the global node for this one is brute force. So if you haven't landed a hit in 6 seconds, you start to degen, losing 100% of total health over 30 seconds. The strength of the damage is affected by class relationships, so again you want to bring in the counter class to whoever you're up against, and landing a hit removes the timer. But it's just if you're trying to bait out special attacks, that timer can tick on. It's just a pain in the backside final node to combat. We also have Kinetic Instigator, so again the opponent's going to gain power when they're striking into your block, so you want to really dex and avoid attacks and try not to rely too much on them hitting into your block. So with this we also start off with Iron Man. Iron Man is not too bad, he's normally okay in launching special 1, even getting up to special 2 can be easily evaded where necessary. And then really the path depends on how many champions you want to take out and who's in your roster, but for me the easiest one in terms of this path, because it is quite long, so you end up kind of losing a lot of health along the way, especially with brute force, is to take the Jane Foster path. There is no specific local nodes in this one, so you're really just dealing with that brute force and kinetic instigator. So you're going to go Jane Foster, Gamora, and then Winter Soldier, no issues. And then you're going to go War Machine and Gambit. So War Machine's kind of the first sticking point, just watching that special one. He's going to gain power striking into the block, but it's better him gaining power than you getting hit by that bleed. Gambit's not too bad. Then we come across the A, and then we're up against Nightcrawler again. So again, your She-Hulk, your Red Guardian, anyone that invites slow into the repertoire is really, really good for 5.1 in general. Crossbones, again, if you're not used to fighting Crossbones, then he can be a bit of a pain. Just don't rely too much on the parry stun, because he might shrug off that stun and then attack straight back into you if you're not expecting it. The mystery champion here is Psylocke, so again shouldn't be too much of an issue to fight. There is a champion overview video in Psylocke on the channel if you want to check back, but really you want to bait out Special 1. Special 2 can be avoided as well, but it's getting the timing right, whereas the Special 1 is purely melee. Just stay away from her and you're good to go. Iron Patriot, not too bad. Civil War Black Panther, again just watch those armor charges going in and don't rely on the stun. So again, if you've got an armor break champion, Corvus Glaive works really, really well for Black Panther. Medusa as well. I think I had Corvus at this point for 5.1.6, so Corvus is an absolute machine for dealing with Black Panther Civil War. Now at the time we know that Black Panther is getting a buff. We think it's just the OG version at this point, but information as it stands, Civil War Black Panther is just as it stands. Rogue's not really too bad. And then the mystery champion at the end is Cable. Cable's a little bit annoying, just watch that heavy attack with the range for the D-Gen, because the D-Gen coupled with potential brute force is just going to melt your health. So where possible, get him up to special 2, and evade those 3 hits in the special 2 and you're good to go. And then you're at Archangel. And there's not really much to write home about with Archangel. He's got a couple of incoming things. Increasing the duration of bleed effects, adaptive resistance, an armor increase and abilities triggering 20% more often. Again, if you want to bring in a bleed immune champion or a poison immune champion, so again, She-Hulk, really, really good for this path, just because he's not going to be able to apply the neurotoxin because she's immune to poison, so he can't convert the combined bleed and poison into neurotoxin. And there you have it, folks. Once you have 5.1 under your belt, then you're going to have access to maybe not juicy rewards in comparison to what we have now, but you're going to have 2 tier 4 alpha, 2 tier 4 basic catalysts, handful of 4-star shards, handful of 5-star shards, and some tier 4 CC fragment crystals. Now for an up and coming player just completing these, then the tier 4 basic could help you rather than say spending glory or that in the shop or opening any crystals that you've gotten by any other means. So they are handy, especially if you're ranking up 5-star champions to progress, as we go into 5.2 and beyond. So guys, hopefully you found the video tutorial useful for 5.1.5 and 5.1.6. If you did, hit the thumbs up, leave a comment below if you use any different champions or any other hints and tips that you yourself have got. That will help anyone that's coming through watching the video. And if you are watching these videos, make sure and hit the subscribe button, and then you'll be alerted when new videos go up on the channel. But guys, thank you very much for watching the video, take care, all the best, and we'll speak soon.